Okay, this is Dorothy Preston and Rodeo from Best Friends Pet Clinic, and I wanted to talk to you this week about the top 10 poisons you may have in your home. 50% of all the poisonings that we see in animals are human drugs, so that takes up a huge amount of them. And we get a lot of calls from people who don't know if a medication that their pet took is a poison or not. So I thought I'd just go through the list, and Rodeo's going to lead me. So probably the number one is the antidepressants, that class of drugs, the SSRIs. And what they do is they build up the serotonin levels in your brain and supposed to calm you. Well, everybody or a lot of people are on these medications, and so pets do get access to them. There's one in particular called Effexor that seems to have a really good flavor, and cats will actually go and seek it out, and dogs and cats will both eat that. So that's one that's a big problem. Any amount can be toxic, and there is a level that can be deadly to your pet. That is one that immediate veterinary help is required for your pet to be safe. The next class of drugs that are human drugs that we see are the ADD medications that children take, Ritalin and those types of medications. Typically they do the same thing in dogs that they do to people, or they do to adults, which is make their blood pressure go up, make them very hyper, just the opposite of what they do with children. So we'll see pets that are very twitchy, very panty, heart rates just through the roof, and that's one that you need to seek immediate veterinary care. Third, once again, human drug that we see, and that's your sleep aids. So your Ambien and those type of medications, they are considered non-addictive sleep aids, but they're very similar in their structure to Valium and things like that. So those do require immediate care. They're not quite as deadly as some of the others, but typically they can take so many that it can suppress their respirations. So once again, seek immediate care. Fourth is one that a lot of people surprisingly don't know about, and it was one that we didn't study in school because it wasn't known at that time, but we know now. Grapes are poisonous. That includes your raisins, that's grape juice, that's seedless, your red grapes, your purple grapes, your green grapes, all grapes. And it's very strange. Some dogs can take it and some dogs can't. And we don't know if it's the dog or the grape. We're not even sure what it is that's causing it, but it does cause renal failure in pets. So once again, do not allow your dogs to eat grapes of any kind. Raisins are much more poisonous than the grapes are. Okay, that brings us to our fifth most common thing we see, and that is a very common one. I see this every week, sometimes every day, and that is what we call our NSAIDs. That's our ibuprofen, Aleve, naproxen, Tylenol, aspirin, and sometimes in lower doses at one low dose we may not see a problem in dogs. One low dose in cats, deadly. So 2 or 3 doses or eating a handful of them, what may be an adult dose for you is deadly to your Maltese. So these, once again, are fatal. You need immediate veterinary care. The sixth one is one that we are seeing an increase of, and that's the thing it's the artificial sweetener they put in a lot of gums, a lot of diabetic foods, and that's the xylitol. They're also putting it in peanut butter now, so do check the labels. It causes hypoglycemia to the point of seizures and death in pets. So once again, you've got a dog that is extremely depressed, has chewed up a bunch of your gum or breath freshener. Icebreaker is a common one that has a tremendous amount of xylitol in it. So you've got icebreakers around, particularly the big canister of them that you can shake. Dogs eat that and they can die. So none of that. One thing that we see often, we get calls on this so frequently, and that's the insect bait you have out for your ants or your roaches or whatever you've got. Now the bait by itself is usually, we get calls on it, but it's not as fatal. So depends on how much your pet eats. If your pet just chewed up one, I wouldn't worry about it. If your pet chewed up a bunch of them and ate them and swallowed them, then you do need to seek immediate veterinary care. The 8th one, and this is kind of tricky. We get a lot of calls on the silica gel packets that come in medicine jars and things like that. Those are not toxic, but people call on that. But there is a, what's it called, a food oxidizer pack. Yeah, I have a cheat sheet. A food oxidizer pack that is often put in foods, in particular dog treats and cat treats, to keep that packet fresh. Those oxidizer packs are deadly if they are eaten. Something humorous when they put it in your dog treats. They're separated out. They're in a packet, and it's plastic covered. The only way to tell the difference, if you think your dog ate a packet, is get another one and cut it open. If it's white or clear or sandy, it's the silica, perfectly safe. If it's black, that's a problem. That's a big problem. So seek immediate veterinary care. That's what I should call this. Then we have a few more, just a few more. We've got the house cleaners, typically your Clorox, your Lysol, things like that. They're all considered to be the poisonous compounds, so do keep them locked up. If they have a hazardous symbol on them for poison, you need to keep them away from your pet. If they're chewed up or you don't know how much has been ingested, typically there are burns and ulcerations in the mouth, but seek care immediately. Your batteries also is a common one that the dogs and cats, well, dogs will like to chew on the batteries, and that has some heavy metal toxicities and some just some caustic material that can burn the mouth. Have I covered everything? I did it. Happy birthday, Dawn.
Thank you.
And Rodeo is over here, so she's ready to go.
She's
So
like,
thank
"We're
you all
done."
very much.